Hello guys, looks like we're back. Appreciate everybody that's been watching my videos, watching my channel grow. I really appreciate that. We're back again with another hay video. This will probably be the last time you'll see Ted in this year. I've got my Ford 601. It looks pretty good. Dad beat the dust off of it about a month ago, so it looks good. But the dust is already gathered back on it in the barn. It's funny how life works that way. Got our Kuhn 4-basket tedder back there, and I'm going to show y'all how the tedder works and how it operates, and we'll just kind of have some footage this evening of just kicking some hay. I got to thinking, though, a couple weeks ago about this tractor and about my two-wheel drive David Brown, about how they've both been reliable to me. They both put in honest day's work and really haven't given me any problems, and the problems they've gave all can be pretty fixable. Got to thinking about a story in the Bible where it talks about David and Goliath. You know, David was a little guy. He wasn't really a big guy or anything, and he was going up against Goliath, who was a giant. You know, Saul, who was the person who was supposed to be fighting Goliath, who stood head and shoulders above everyone else, tried to give his armor to David. David told him that he hadn't proved that armor yet and that he had no need for that armor. The question that I kind of was asking myself is, you know, have we proved ourselves to God? Now, I'm not saying that it's a race, you know, or that we have to do certain things to earn God's love, because we don't. But has God called on me to do something, and I've done it enough that he can trust me to get things done? And, you know, that's a question I think we all can ask. You know, are we reliable enough that God will choose us to get something done? But anyways, I hope everybody enjoys this video. I'll show you all folding it out and how it works, and we'll get to doing some kicking. Of course, I always got to throw a little bird poop onto the equation. As I was just mentioning how reliable it was, let's give it a little choke. There we go. I will say one thing though, doing this 12-volt conversion was probably one of the best things that we ever done on this thing. Better take that top link out, because I don't think I want that collision going on. We'll take it off down here at the barn. I really can't believe how good this has grown back. It's pretty awesome, you know, mowing it that late in the year and still getting this kind of growth out of it in September. Now, my plan for this field up here is to graze it down pretty heavy this fall. Last fall I wanted to drill it, but I never really did get around to it. So this year I really want to. Mainly orchard grass, but I would love to try to put some perennial ryegrass in there. If anyone's had any experience with that stuff, drop a comment below. Now I'm going to set you on a time lapse folding this thing out, because it does kind of take a little while. So I'll set you on a time lapse and show you all how it folds out, tilts down, things like that. Definitely not too thick up here. It's pretty thick down on the creek. There was a lot more like barnyard grass and foxtail and things like that that come up down on the creek. And plus it had been mowed a little bit earlier, because I had some Johnson grass that was wanting to come up in it and thought I could keep it mowed and weed eat it down. Well, plot twist, I couldn't. Johnson grass is some mean stuff, but if you don't keep up with it, or at least try to do something with it, it'll overtake everything. I know some people that watch me, they may swear by it, and honestly, it's not bad stuff. If you can cut it about maybe a foot high or a foot and a half, and it has some red clover mixed in it, that's some of the best cow hay that you could ever make. But anybody that has horses or anything like that, if they see Johnson grass, they always try to stray away. Johnson grass, foxtail, definitely broom sage, things like that. And this right here definitely isn't bad stuff. I mean, it's going to make great cow hay, but it's just, I don't know, it's not really horse quality. You can definitely tell a yield difference down here on this side versus, you know, the upper side up there. But as you can see, there's some Johnson grass that made its way up. Here's some too. Now the purpose of tedding hay is to basically flip it over and let the green stuff air out and dry out. You can kind of see down through there the last pass that I made. It is pretty green underneath still, but kicking hay is a very, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, delicate thing. Hay can be kicked too much and it can get sun bleached, or it can just be beat apart. So hopefully what I'm going to do is, if the weather works out good, you can see it's nice and breezy. Hopefully if the weather works out, I only have to kick this once so I can hold some of that color to it, but it still be dry. Now this little dude's pretty easy to drive. First thing you want to do is mash down that clutch, throttle it down just a little so your PTO doesn't grind. This is a non-live PTO or two-stage clutch tractor, so it's a straight drive. So we're going to put it in third gear, and as soon as we let out of the clutch, you will see the tractor move and the tedder start to move. All right? Now if I mash the clutch in to stop the tractor, it also takes power away from the tedder. Now in taller hay, you always want to kick the direction that you mowed, or kick with the direction. It helps stand the grass up better, but in stuff like this, it really doesn't matter which direction you kick. Just do whatever. And that's kind of what I do here. Now this right here is probably really one of my healthiest little patches. I wish every bit of my ground was this good, but it's not. And I'll tell you probably why it's so good is I'll use my tripod as a pointer. There's a ditch that runs right there and a ditch that runs right here, and this is just high enough to run water off both sides. So it always grows pretty good. To our last kind of bigger piece. Some of you guys have saw this piece being baled and mowed and things like that. If there's a ditch that separates it on this side, if I can get back over here, and there's a hump that separates it right here. You can tell right there where that browner stuff is, it holds water. A lot of barnyard grass come up in there. But I'm thinking about cutting that hump and trying to run out some of this water in either a drainage ditch or tile or something down to this ditch over here. It's too high right there to run to the creek, so I'd have to run it into the middle here. But this turned off real thick too. It's just where it stays wet and damp all the time. Pretty nice stuff. This was mowed last night, so it's still a little bit green. Cameraman right there. Rake hand, cameraman. This is probably the sorriest part. As you can tell, it's right in the ditch. I can't get any type of fescue or anything to really grow from here down. I can get it to grow from there up pretty good. But from here down, it just stays too dang wet. So I know this really isn't the best quality stuff. Never really claimed it to be, but it'll sure sound pretty good to somebody's goats or cows when, you know, there's snow on the ground. So I try to always put up some hay like this, just kind of rougher hay for people that doesn't really want to spend the money. They just want something to feed. So I always try to put up some just to kind of take care of those people too. Well guys, that's going to be it for the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Nice sunset, about probably 78, 79 degrees. We're going to end up baling some hay this weekend, Lord willing we don't get any rain or anything. So hopefully the last shebang will be a real good video. I'll try to kind of make it a little bit longer one and show some of the different processes, different steps, a little bit more in detail. Stay tuned guys. If you like the video, please like and please give me a subscribe. I would really appreciate it.